Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to some more disc golf media coverage. We are here in Mijas, Spain for the EPT All-Stars event, stop number 6 on the European Pro Tour. Got that round 3 front 9 lead card action for you. I'm Tony Ferro.
And with him, Connor Wood. Super excited to see this finale of not only the tournament, but the season as well. As we are late into November, this really is the final moment for these guys to perform on the big stage before we move on to 2023. So, excited to see who comes out on top today.
That will be the decision today. We have 18 short holes to decide it. It is a pretty close battle as we take a look on our leader card. We have Jakub Semerád. He's been leading it from the beginning. Let's see if he can hold out.
Also joining us, Niilo Hongisto, a new name for me. Fun fact, 2022 is his first year as a registered PDGA athlete.
Well, they do take the PDGA very seriously in Finland. That is the highest standard. May not be the same thing in every country, but Daniel Davidsson from Tampere has been on the scene, let's say, making big splash this year.
Rounding out this lead card, we have joining us Øyvind Jarnes from the Sula team, representing here. He's won 3 first place positions at B tiers this year, so he's had a very solid season, and we'll see if he can battle his way up to that podium position. We see Jakub leading at 20 under with a 5-stroke lead over second place. I think we're going to see some heavy chasing today.
Well, it is all or nothing here, so let's kick it in with hole 1, 80 meters up the hill, par 3. Just got to get over the bushes to begin with, get around this big tree right in front of the basket, spike it on into this slanting right to left green. Big rollaway potential. Gotta watch out. Early left has got those low hanging branches. Really difficult to nail the putt from there.
As we see our leader Jakub here, first throw of the final round of EPT All-Stars.
Big.
Nice wide high hyzer. I think going to crash a little bit low and left. As you see there, he will be under that foliage.
Yeah, probably not exactly what he was looking for. Needed that forward push. Wow, Niilo with the sidearm. Have not seen that yet, but geez, wow. That was an ace run.
Digs the hill directly next to it. Got a little bit of a rollaway, but a lethal shot. Very close to putting it in. What a start for Niilo. Daniel now.
Get it going, boy. Daniel up. Oh, that's way left, right out of the hand. And, gets a little reverse roll out into the open. That's going to be just outside the circle. Still putting for birdie.
And it's a little bit sunnier here today than in day 2, but just as windy, if not a little bit more so.
Well, they should be well used to it now, but that is blowing away.
Very high, that big spiking angle, getting caught like a sail in the wind. He looked to have been pushed far left, as you see what he has left now.
What is...
Blind approach. Just a re-tee.
I was going to say, is this a re-tee?
Separate camera angle. Caught us off guard there, but opts for the re-tee.
Yeah, that I bet you he lost his disc and had to re-tee. As his entire card was up there looking for the second shot even. Wonder if they found the first one when they got to the second one. But remains to be said. Ooh, Daniel just laying it up. Nothing to do with that first putt.
An interesting decision given the backboard. I understand the risk of rollaway is high, but definitely gives you a chance to stick it if you give it the full power to run it.
Yeah, I'm 5 strokes back on this course. You got to get every one you can take.
But Øyvind unable to find that one there.
That's going to be a big number to start the round off. It's tough to come back from that sometimes, but it can also kick you in the butt and drive a pretty decent round if you use that frustration in the right way.
And Niilo, for the lone birdie of the card, Oh, just cashing out the left side.
Yeah, maybe caught some cabbage right off the hand there, but either way, it looked a bit left.
As these guys all pick up their threes or higher, nobody finds a stroke on our leader. This lead card. Do you think a bit of nerves here on final day, final tournament?
Yeah,
lead card.
I was just going to mention the pressure is on. Final round, all-star event. You know it is a tight race. Okay, Jakub, he definitely has a cushion, but the rest of these guys, they're in full fight mode. They need to push every single stroke they can. Well, let's get one here as they all need it. Hole 2, par 3, 81 meters down the hill. Been seeing a lot of sidearms from the righties just crashing into these hills as you get up towards the basket here. Quite a bit of stopping ability from there.
And the key point on this forehand shot for the righties really being the height and making sure to contact the ground before the basket to avoid that long OB. We'll see if Jakub can replicate his fantastic shots from the first 2 rounds.
I was just going to say, oh, that is a bit high, but it's dropping like a bomb, and he's parked. Why would I doubt him? Why would I doubt him on this hole?
You see the wind blowing. He uses the height, utilizes that big spike hyzer angle. We see Niilo now trying to match. And match he does, if not improve. Absolutely parked.
These guys are doing it on this hole. Oh my gosh. Talk about putting some pressure on Daniel. Gotta match the first 2 sidearms, but that is still not that bad. That's the miss that I would say is most common. Or the
probably
safest.
Has a decent chance to filter down back into the middle.
Exactly.
If you hit that wall.
You do have some opportunity to filter down. Now, a little early there for Øyvind, but that's still going to be a putt. A dangerous one if he's going to try it. Yeah, okay.
Decides to lay it up with the drop off and OB directly behind. Tough to blame him for that one.
Yeah.
As Daniel does the same.
Guess nobody's wanting to put up a fight here for old Jakub.
Well, that's Niilo jumping 1 stroke ahead of Daniel now into 2nd place.
That is true. Niilo is keeping up with Jakub here. Got to put some pressure on him early. Get him to maybe make a mistake or so. Help you get some of those strokes back. 5 is a lot to take in 1 round.
5 through 18. This might just be the course to do it, though, with this crazy terrain. Tell us what we have here.
We got a big bomb coming up. Hole 3, par 3, 142 meters. Got to shoot it across this valley. Contend with this wind here as you land it on this hillside. Going to see a lot of reverse skips or the disc just not fighting enough over to the basket. Seems to be a little calm wind, though.
A brief moment, maybe, is Jakub off the tee, getting that nice wide flipping up to flat shot. We'll see if he can swing in accurately.
Short, maybe? Yeah.
Tiny bit, but very nice shape and looked well controlled as we see the wind now for Niilo looking much heavier.
Yeah, it looks like a whole different shot now, but Niilo seems to have some oomph in that sidearm.
And he's really leaning on it with this wind. Maybe getting in a little bit of trouble there, fading out early, but look to have gotten the distance at least as he fades out to the right.
Daniel up now. See, he is no slouch in the distance department. Flipping that up to flat, maybe a little too wide right, but that is circle's edge, maybe 12 meters or so. Decent birdie look, especially on this hole.
A very solid shot. Throwing over this valley, your disc is really exposed to the elements here as you try to land on this tiny plateau. I think the birdie, definitely not very frequent, but Øyvind with a fantastic throw, landing right up there on top. Looks to have a inside the circle birdie putt.
Yeah, huge spike hyzer there. Just did not fight enough to the left, even with all that height. Oh, sidearm is just not the idea on this hole. It is blowing away every chance it gets. But that stuck really nicely for Niilo. He will have 7 meters for the par.
And a little half bid there from Jakub. We'll see Daniel now what he's left with for birdie.
Yeah, half bid with the justice. It's not windy or anything. Øyvind, just low.
Low out of the hand with a flat to downwards nose angle. Just never had the height. Right. Niilo now.
To save the par.
As well, none of these guys wanting to go nose up with this wind. The chance of floating away is too high.
It is
as all of them a little bit low on the putts. No birdies to be found here by this lead card.
And with that par, that will be a stroke on Niilo. Yeah, he's the one fighting. I was going to say the card, but the other guys got pars as well.
And Daniel still remaining tied now for second place as Niilo drops 1 stroke. Keeps second and third still very much in play. Jakub needing to make some mistakes if he's going to fall back, looking to be running away with it just a little bit as the holes close out.
Well, this could be a 2-stroke swing hole, even if you would. Possibility of something happening here is high as we go into our first par 4, 232 meters. Really just following the valley left to right. Got to pull that big Anheuser shot, soft flex if you will, to get as far as possible down that fairway. Set yourself up for as short of a distance as you can on your second shot. 232 meters is a tall task for 2 shots.
And Jakub has shown a very interesting strategy here. Quite unusual is that he's opting for less distance off the tee, but in order to get a better position to have a very straight second shot, worked out well for him in round 2. He looks to be trying to replicate that. As Daniel has a big turnover, catches the hillside and goes for a roll.
Yeah, I'm almost thinking Jakub is just settling for par here because he has not yet gotten really that close to the basket on his second shot either. I mean, what he's doing on his play, he's probably talking 140, 150 maybe into the pin. And yeah, I mean, that's just a huge rip.
Niilo now. As you mentioned, a lot of snap on that forehand. Looks to be swinging it around nicely, and he curls up right next to Jakub.
Yeah, unfortunate. Really, it just looked like it hit a rock or something and stopped it when sent it backwards.
As we see him try to battle his way all the way up the fairway, he comes up a little bit short. Looks like the wind was not too favorable for the forehand shape, but went for it regardless. We'll see if Jakub is able to find this one here. As you mentioned, a very long uphill shot straight down the middle.
Yeah, I need full S on this. But yeah, it's still just not that far. I feel like that's just a par play for me. If you're sidearming off the tee, unless you're Niilo, I have full confidence Niilo could do that.
We see Øyvind here with the low ceiling.
Stand still. Showing some athleticism. Wow, that thing had some oomph on it. Curious where that ended up.
And Niilo with a forehand approach to give himself a par putt. And Daniel in a similar position again as we've seen him before. Gets a nice little Anheuser on that and slides on up.
Cool little approach shot from up on the hill. Oh no, Øyvind didn't get down the hill.
Looks like a bid.
Oh, for sure. Nice little half go. Stopping right next to the pin. Jakub outside circle 2, I'd say.
Also a decent bid, but not much risk taken there from Jakub, and I think very wise on what was the hardest hole statistically in round 3. Fantastic par putt there from Niilo. Super low.
Talk about just enough to get it over the cage. Oh.
Daniel from about 4 or 5 meters bounces off the band. May have been lifted by the wind. He's putting from the other side now and finds himself with a bogey here on hole 4.
Yeah, he does putt a little nose up maybe, and gosh, we've seen that already before where it just looks like it comes out of his hand just right over the top of the basket. But I have to think that's the wind getting a hold of it.
As Jakub, Niilo, and Øyvind all take their pars, we move on with only one bogey onto hole 5.
Hole 5, par 331 meters down this hill here. Been seeing big spike hyzer play. Really have to contend with these trees on the right though. Get them over the top that it can swing into this pretty guarded green. Did see the straight on play though. Just buttery, perfect, go down the middle, but yeah.
I think definitely a small gap to hit. Jakub trying to improve. On the first 2 days, he's hung it out too wide or too low, not able to swing back in, and he's done the same thing again.
Oh, yeah.
I can't believe that that's what he's trying to do, despite it happening all 3 rounds for him here at Mijas.
I really feel it's not a huge downhill shot, so still 130 is a pretty good rip. And these guys are trying to get over the trees, which is making it feel probably 15-20 meters further.
And Niilo looking for the forehand hyzer, a line that we have not seen, drops a bomb onto the green.
That
looks to be just behind that little guardian bush. That was huge.
But yeah, as I was saying, it's a huge shot on the right here. And then you have to contend with the hillside and try to match the disc to the hillside so that it fades properly. It's a lot to ask for to come down this hill. I know the hyzer is the most consistent, but a little flip up straight up the gut seems to be that nice open play to me.
And it still is a gamble if you're fading through these trees, if you hit one of the pockets or not, hoping that you'll filter through on the hyzer.
Wow, that was almost in. Oh, Jakub running it blind.
Øyvind had a good bid beforehand as well, as Niilo's birdie putt goes a little left. We see Daniel now for his birdie. Great find here on hole 5. Puts him back to even for the round. And once again, tied with Niilo.
Yeah, that's a good confidence builder after the unfortunate miss on the last hole. Get him right back in the game. Right back in the fight.
So Øyvind finds his par. A little bit of a tough round for him since that bogey on the first, but he'll be looking to right that ship and find some birdies soon. 4-5 being a very tough stretch to find birdies on. 6 onwards, things start to lighten up just a little bit for these players.
But we are almost 1/3 through this round, and Jakub has gained strokes on his lead. Headtotoonie.com. That was awesome. I was digging that commercial. Hole 6, par 3, 129 meters. Going up this hill here. Just got to find your way through the trees, over the top of them if you want. Hyzer on into this nice backboard. filled basket.
As we see Daniel on the tee now, giving it that big hyzer bomb, slides up to that first cresting hill. Looks to be circle 2. Little lateral putt there on the hillside.
Yeah, it's going to be a little dangerous. The fade does go down the hill, but yeah, he's height. He's, basket height with it, but
Jakub looking like he's also got the distance, but hangs it a little too far to the right. The wind may be playing a bit differently than the other 2 days for these guys.
Yeah, these boys, they got to start getting aggressive here and start putting a move towards the basket, take some risk. Otherwise, Jakub's just going to be walking it in.
And Øyvind lands in a very similar spot to Jakub on that upper right shelf. That's a scary putt, maybe even an approach for these guys. But as you mentioned, if the time to take risks is at the end of the tournament, here we are.
Oh, this is going to have to get some hyzer out of it, but no. Catching a tree. Niilo will be... Yeah, that's not that bad,
got a little
actually.
look. He's got a little look. I think that's a 3 at worst. Unless he rolls away, that's a nice little bid he can give it there, and I'm sure he'll follow up on that.
Yeah, with the sidearm dominant player, that is not that bad of a location to be in.
As Jakub kisses the pole there with his approach.
All right, Daniel up next. Circle 2 look. He seems to be going for it. Arm said no, though. Does not look pleased. Øyvind, he better be running this. Come on.
Also a little soft. Look, there's that wall of judgment. Something about the spectators being right up there looking down on you quite literally might be a little nerve-wracking, but very confident putt there from Niilo.
Now, you could see they both went for it. Maybe the tailwind slammed it down, unfortunately, but...
A downhill putt, you don't want to float away, give it too much, and end up circle 2 again.
I do agree.
That's the time to drop it in, as we see Jakub drop in his par. No strokes lost to the field once again.
Now that'll be a star par frame for these boys. And we shall move to hole number 7, par 3, 104 meters. Again, heading across the valley. See this nice tiered green. Big sidearm from the righties. Crashing into that hillside next to the basket. Let's see some birdies. Let's see some ace runs. Come on now. Make them moves, boys.
That forehand hyzer does shape very naturally for the run. You do want to give it the height up on the hill.
That
so we see Daniel
was
there.
nice.
Smooth shape.
Great run from Daniel. He will be just 4 or 5 meters short, but gave it the height, crashing in towards the chains. That's the way you want to do it.
Jakub a little higher and a little wider, but looks to be swinging in just as well.
Jeez.
Kisses the pole again. This man is hitting metal all over the place from way far out.
Yeah, he is a man on a mission, let's say that. Oh, that's too wide and too low. Get some wind help. That'll be an uphill circle too.
The wind did catch it for a moment there, but just a little bit low out of the hand. Niilo, we had a brief moment there to see his forehand grip look to be a power grip with curled fingers. Huge bomb as he almost cashes the ace as well. We have 3 players on that upper shelf right by the basket.
I'm going to have to talk to that boy whenever I see him and ask him how he throws that thing, because that's got some oomph on it.
Great putt there from Daniel. Finds that birdie right when he needs it, puts him to 1 under for the round. Knowing that Niilo is very close, also going to cash that, does not let him sneak ahead in that second place position.
That is true. Fight for second is still on. I'm sure the chase card has something to say about it as well. We need to get somebody going here, get them on Jakub's butt. So we move into hole number 8, par 3, 113 meters. Again, still heading across the valley onto another tiered green. This time we got a hanging basket though. The tree has really got some low-hanging branches as well. Provides lots of guarding. Curious to see if somebody's going to get this real close to the basket or not.
We have Daniel up first looking for that big hyzer shape, plays it over the trees on the right. And he connects with one of those last guardian bushes. He likely has an edge of circle uphill putt for birdie. Jakub now. As you mentioned, it's really a touchy line to get it right up to the basket. Most of these guys, their best shots are landing just below it with a short uphill putt on the lower tier, but we have seen some of the best shots get quite close. Very rare to see someone really park this one.
And if you can do it, this would be the way I would do it. But I don't have 113 on my sidearm, so.
Looks like he had about 120.
Yeah,
about pin high, but to the left.
Yeah, it turned over with that wind. Quite a bit of crosswind out here. It seems to be left to right, but not positive. Yeah, okay, it's left to right. I take it back. I'm going to say his sidearm fell down when it turned over, and all the annies have been falling down, and so...
The flight plate going right gets beaten up a bit. But, as we see Daniel now from downhill.
And that is not the basket that he's going for in the right of the screen. He did throw it to the correct basket.
Jakub now also throwing to the correct basket. Oh, a floaty bid from him.
Okay.
That looks like he wanted it, didn't it?
I thought the same thing. I was like, what is he running this for? 6-stroke lead.
As we see Niilo as well from slightly below. And Øyvind opting to lay up there and not play with that drop off at all. Jakub for par.
Oh.
I believe that will be his first bogey of the tournament.
Man, and what a spot to do it on. Unfortunate. I gotta think he was just trying to lay that up and gave it a bit too much. But
surely. As his lead will drop to 5
now. This is where it started at the round, but hey, I mean, that could give these guys the confidence they need to take a few more strokes, you know?
Shows a couple cracks.
This is one to get it on the hole number 9, 78 meters, moving up the hill. You have a couple choices. You can go straight through these trees, nice little tunnel shot. You can take it over the top if you want with a soft little flexor. Dealer's choice, however you think you're going to park this basket, that's the way you do it.
I'm a fan of the hyzer flip right down the middle. As we see Daniel showing us that forehand line, catches the top of the tree, the final branch. As he rolls down, he'll be about halfway up the fairway, perhaps a bit more.
All right, Niilo, this is the time. Take one. Show him what you're doing. Going over the top, sidearm. Not bad. Little short. Maybe just around circle's edge. 8-9 meters.
But a very solid line. We see Øyvind right down the middle.
Come on. How can anybody think anything different?
As he rides that laser all the way up there, Jakub tries to match.
A little early out the hand for Jakub, but still, love the effort.
Daniel with still a little bit of work to do as he chips up a little forehand hyzer. He'll now have a par save, which he cashes.
Nice. Wow.
Solid find.
Tough putt from that low. Got that hill in the way. He's a real low to high putter.
But Niilo finds the birdie, putting him one ahead of Daniel now.
There you
Potentially in
go.
second place.
Oh, Jakub didn't go that short. Oh, okay. We missed a shot. Never mind. I was going to say, that was quite the kick there if Jakub was that close to the basket.
As Øyvind finds his 2, putting him back to 12 under. We close out the front 9. Very exciting. Jakub has not been pushed yet, ending with the same lead, I believe, as he started with. We take a
We're
look
down
at the
one
scores
now.
here.
He is down
Niilo,
one.
that's right. Niilo snuck his way to 4 behind Jakub, leading at 21 under. Mr. Semerád, Niilo at 17 under, Daniel at 16, and Øyvind at 12. Let's check in with the field and see what they have to say about it.
I am curious as curious can be. Oh my gosh. What?
8 down through 9. Matthias Villota just on fire. Mikael
That's
Räsänen,
crazy in this wind.
third place with 5 under through 9.
It's still tight. I mean, look at that. Just a few
Jakub.
strokes through the top 12. Let's go.